Welcome, everyone. I'm Tom Farmer, and you're listening to Health Talks. We want to share information between patients, employers, and doctors. Together, we can all make healthcare more accessible for everyone. So every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., let's spend 6 to 8 minutes on the most talked about issue of the week. Okay, hello everybody. So today's topic is medical bills paid with company insurance. And the question is, who pays medical bills with the company insurance? Well, that depends. It can be a little confusing, but if you are a company and you have over 500 employees, it's most likely that your employer is self-funded. And what that means is your company is taking all the risk. So when there's a healthcare event, procedure that has to be paid, it's really the company paying it. I mean, you might have one of those little cards. It's got the insurance company name on it, like Aetna or Anthem or Cigna or United. And probably, if you're in a big company, that's what they call an administrative contract. The company is really not providing insurance. In other words, they're not taking on risk to pay the bill. They're simply doing the accounting. They're what's called, in the healthcare world, it's called a third-party administrator, because they are fiduciaries to cover all the costs, to account for the bills, what comes in, and then which money goes out, and which patients are doing what. And they're really doing all that. And the reason these big insurance companies provide these administrative services as TPAs for big companies is because they can get a fee for doing that, and they don't want to lose the business. And these big companies who normally would just, say, hey, we've got so many people here and we're paying so much money every month, we don't need to pay profit to an insurance company to take risk, because we can take our own risk. We can spread that risk over the pool, so it really isn't any risk. It's very predictable every single, period. And there are some major outliers, so that if you're a company with 1,000 people, you may have what's called, and I don't want to get too detailed into all of these things, but you may have what's called a stop loss thing, so that, think if you own the company and there's 1,000 employees, you'll take risk of $100,000 per employee, or maybe $1 million per year, whatever number you're trying to use. And you just go and buy this, what they call stop loss insurance, for those, outlier crazy events that might happen. Of course, if you're a company with 20,000 employees, you don't even need that, because you've got so many employees, the risk is spread all over, and it just doesn't matter. But do keep in mind that 94% of all employers with over 500 employees are somewhat self-funded. So they're the ones taking the risk. So even if you're with a company where you're with a smaller employer and you really do have insurance that's through the insurance company, in other words, the insurance company is going to pay for your procedure and the employer doesn't have anything to do with it, you still might want to check with your HR department, because they may have some kind of relationship with what's called a direct pay network. And even though the employer's not paying, your employer still wants to try to help you out, because, deductibles are rising, co-pays are rising. Effectively, your out-of-pocket costs are going up, and the employer can't afford to continue to cover that. So they want to try to help you. And they might have a relationship with what's called this direct pay network, where these are doctors or surgeons that will actually do procedures for cash when they're paid on the day of service. So you might check and see, because a lot of times if it's a smaller procedure, in many cases, the cash paying price is actually less than the cost of using your insurance and paying the deductible. So anyway, those are available. Check them out and see if that works for you. And one of the other questions that popped in is, well, what if I don't need a procedure? What if I just need to go to the doctor for a flu or a fever or stomach ache, or kind of all those basic sort of things that a primary care doctor would cover? Well, again, another great choice for that is what's called direct primary care physicians. They're known as family physicians, or sometimes internists do that. The key word there, though, is direct primary care. And these are starting to pop up because these doctors will take a monthly fee. It's kind of like it's concierge medicine, but at a low monthly fee. So they'll take a low monthly fee, let's say $79, $99, $59 if maybe you're in a rural area. And effectively, you have unlimited visits to that primary care doctor. So you're paying every month, let's say $79 a month, and something happens. Hey, you just get up and go to the doctor. And you usually don't even have to wait, because those doctors have plenty of patients. They usually max out at about 1,000. I won't get into the details of that, but they're available because they're seeing on average about 5 patients a day, rather than trying to see 30, 40, 50, 60 patients a day, where those doctors are trying to survive. And so the direct primary care, they're getting paid by you every month. So you're paying their fees whether you're using them or not. It's kind of like one ad we saw in Florida said, hey, subscribe for $59 and you get free unlimited doctor visits. So when you look at that and you think, well, is that much? I mean, when you add it up and you're spending, let's say it's $80 a month, I mean, you're spending $1,000 a year, and you go to the doctor as many times as you want. On average, most people go to the doctor 4.1 times per year, by the way. But, you might be a guy who gets a lot of colds or has a stomach ache or whatever it is, and you decide you want to go more. Anyway, I hope that helps answer your question. One of the things I'd like to send you to, just to take a peek at that, is we have a YouTube channel. It's the Healora channel, and that's Healora. And if you'll go to YouTube and go to the Healora channel, you'll see on there, right in the front, you'll see a 3-minute video of a doctor who was a neurosurgeon. He's now one of the #1 direct primary care physicians in the country. And we've actually partnered with him to help some of his patients. But I think if you go there, it'll show you exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. Anyway, I hope that helps. And thanks again for listening. Your comments and questions really drive this show, and they actually help us improve understanding for all the listeners. Be sure to leave your comments at www.healora.com/health talks, and we're going to be sure to answer them. Check out the new episodes every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Time. This is Health Talks, powered by Healora.